there, everyone. I'm Maria Young.
And I'm Jody Young.
And welcome to The Young Life. So today what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to give you our reaction and also our review on the docuseries entitled Surviving R. Kelly, which was aired on Lifetime TV. Now, I have to tell you, even though we knew tidbits and pieces of the allegations involving R. Kelly and also underage girls, we really did not know the extent of it. I mean, we were at the very surface. Yes. We didn't know how deep and how dark that rabbit hole went. Mm-hmm. And just as soon as we thought that that was it couldn't get any worse than that. Believe it or not, it got even more twisted. It got even more demented. Absolutely insane and very crazy, unbelievable, some of the things that we watched on that documentary. Mm-hmm. Now, I do have to tell you that for me, I was very happy that they put this out. It was very educational. It was very informative. It shed revelations. It was an eye-opener. And it really gave you that sense of the full story.
It put a face to the crime. You know, basically, you got insight that through the years we never knew. You know, there were things that were brought to light that we were like, wow, you know, this is incredible. How insane and how cruel and hideous this man is. And unfortunately, you know, it's taken this long to come to light. But thank God for Lifetime. They did bring it to light.
I could really appreciate them for doing this. And you know what makes this even more powerful is the fact that R. Kelly actually contacted Lifetime on the day that it was supposed to be aired and made that threat to them, saying that he was going to indeed come after them if they aired it. And Lifetime seen it important enough to say, you know what, we're going to take that risk and we're going to do it anyway. And I think this is so powerful for people to know what they're buying into, what they're literally purchasing when you promote and you support this overly glamorized, overly glorified child molester. Let's call it for what it is.
Let's just call it what it is. He's a child molester. He's an abuser. Mm-hmm. He's a narcissist. Here's a man who has gone under the cover of a musical superstar, musical genius. Yeah. And you kind of fall in love with his stardom and you forget or you ignore the things that he's been doing behind the closed doors. And I as a father, just as a man, as a person, you cannot condone what he's been doing. You can't continue to support what this man is doing. And when you listen to his music, when you purchase his music, when you say, "Oh, I don't care about that. I only care about the music," you're condoning it. Yeah. You're rolling with him. Yeah. You're saying it's okay.
Yeah, you're trading in your morality for the sake of entertainment is what you're doing. And what you're also purchasing when you purchase good music, you're also purchasing the fact that you are allowing him to continue to be a celebrity of great status and influence to where he is capable of having this accessibility to having women at his leisure and call because of who he is. And you are allowing him to be capable of doing just that by giving him that platform, by giving him the stardom to put a spell over people, especially the underaged and the minors that don't have the capacity to think as an adult would, to make the decisions as an adult would.
He's the Pied Piper. That's what he calls himself.
That's what he labeled himself.
You know, he calls himself the Pied Piper, and we all know what the Pied Piper did. You know, he came into the village playing the flute and lured all the children out, never to return.
Never to return again. I mean, that is a fitting name.
Yeah, exactly.
If I ever did see one. And he gave his own self that name.
Exactly. And if you listen to R. Kelly music or you remember the music from the past, he gave you all kinds of clues as to who he was. And
That's
if we were
how
only
arrogant.
paying attention. Yeah, that's how arrogant
That's
he
how
was.
much of a narcissist he was. He didn't care who knew.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
Yeah.
giving us clues.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right in our faces, you know. What is it they say?
In plain
hidden
sight.
in plain sight. That's exactly what he did, and we fell for it. Now, I have to say, as a lover of his music, I bought in. In the beginning, I was young. I
all
really
did.
didn't do any research
We all
behind what actually occurred, and I fell for the facade. I
Listen,
just liked his music.
R. Kelly hit on so many different bases. R. Kelly made inspirational music. R. Kelly made sexual music. He made sensual
Love
music,
songs.
love songs. R. Kelly made feel-good songs. So he crossed over so many different barriers, and it was so easy to put the accusations out of your mind because you were enjoying the music, you were enjoying the talent. You know, when you should have been paying attention to, and myself included, the accusations, because believe it or not, there was enough proof, there was enough evidence
If you just looked.
if you took the time to research.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about how long this actually has been going on, or at least according to Lifetime, where it first surfaced. And I think this was around about when Born Into the 90s album came out.
Correct, yes.
Because there was actually an underage girl that was at his studio that stated that she was listening to Honey Love, which was one of the songs off of that album. And that song actually came out, I think, about 27 years ago. So we're talking about almost 30 years ago. And this underage girl actually talked about having many underage girls at that studio. Not only did he have minors at the studio, but he had certain areas, you know, where they had beds and couches, where he used that as his little sex lair, if you will. So not only did R. Kelly come there to work, he also came there to play.
So basically, he turned this studio into his own private little lair, where he had access to all of these young ladies. He had bedrooms there already.
Didn't have to leave.
And he started using these young ladies to go and recruit other young ladies to come and spend time at his studio. You know, this is how deep and how sick this man was.
Okay, so now here's where it gets a little bit shady, because there's no way, no how that one man can do this alone. Because keep in mind that he is a celebrity that is very busy. I mean, he's going to the studio, producing music, he's doing videos and concerts and interviews, and Lord knows what else he has to do in his line of business. But he is very, very busy. So how did he manage to do it all? Well, he didn't do it by himself.
Make no mistake about it. R. Kelly had a network of people working for him. He had everyone from his drivers who drove the young ladies there, his personal assistant who made these flight arrangements for these girls to fly there, his manager. I mean, in the documentary, the manager admitted to forging a document so that he could get married to Aaliyah, who was 15 at the time. His security guard admitted on the documentary that he witnessed
those
videotapes
He's seen
of
those videos.
underage girls. Yeah, it's deep, folks.
And I have to tell you that the most heartbreaking thing to know is the fact that there were so many people involved. Just a network, a conglomerate of people that sat there idle and watched this, witnessed it, day in and day out. And you mean to tell me not one single person could take a stand? No one went to the police. No one said anything about it. And they not only allowed it to happen, but they allowed it to continue to happen. It's the nerve of them to literally be on this documentary and self-incriminate themselves because they talked about it, just like you said. They watched the videos. They seen the underage girls coming to the hotel. They brought them there. I mean, come on, not one person. It's a sick world we live in that we would allow a celebrity, because he's a celebrity of a certain status, to perform these heinous acts. And if I'm going to keep it real with you guys, You know, I don't think it's a far cry to say that a lot of these people that are actually on this video, his little network, that encountered and witnessed these strange happenings with R. Kelly day in and day out, that we later on find out that they had more to do with it than meets the eye. Because a lot of time people will get on these videos and will start making these comments and statements that are self-incriminating. And you know what? They're actually on there just to do their little cover-up.
Right.
You know, to make it seem like they were innocent and they really had nothing to do with it. Especially the security guard. He made it seem like it was just an innocent action to watch these videos with underage girls.
Right.
That there was, you know, no big deal.
It was creepy.
You
it
know?
was creepy. It was as if he enjoyed talking about that subject. And
Almost perverted.
yeah, that's what
You
it
know?
felt like.
And the manager, where he was really managing damage control.
Right.
Because anytime there was a problem, you know, anytime something went awry and R. Kelly was panicking, he would run to the manager. And the manager, lo and behold, would concoct some kind of plan, an escape way to get themselves out. And one particular example was with Aaliyah. When he got her pregnant, R. Kelly ran to his manager, his damage control, and said, oh, you know, we're in trouble. We need to get out of here. We need to go to Chicago, whatever the case may be. But he was explaining to the manager that he did get her pregnant. And the manager concocted a plan that he would forge some signatures, that he would produce fraudulent documents so that they could get married. Now that says a lot. But the way that he explained it, you would think that that was just a day-to-day action, that there was nothing illegal about that.
Right.
You're forging legal marriage documents, okay? That is a big deal. That is illegal, and you yourself committed a crime. Call it what it is, folks. And the way they explain it, because they were trying to minimize exactly what they did, it just leads me to believe that there was some sort of cover-up with that.
These people saw what was going
Yeah.
on. And the shame
Just
of it
as
is they
accountable.
were the adults. They could have done something to protect those young ladies, and they didn't. And these young ladies are going to suffer for the rest of their lives because it goes deeper than him manipulating them. What about their families? What about their psychological well-being?
Yeah.
It goes deeper, folks.
Yeah. They're affected by this forever.
I pray that they get brought to justice also, because these young ladies deserve for them to pay for everything that they did to them also.
Now, the very first time we really caught wind that there may be an issue with him and underage girls was actually with Aaliyah. And you guys know that Aaliyah was his protege. That was one of his artists that he was promoting. Now, when he met Aaliyah, she was only 12 years old. Then he started performing, I think she was 14. And then, of course, at the age of 15, they were in a plight, oopsie daisy. He got Aaliyah pregnant. Now, we may say that perhaps he did fall in love with Aaliyah, and maybe this was just one case. No, not at all. Because afterwards, there were many underage girls that began to surface. As a matter of fact, these underage girls that did surface had filed lawsuits on R. Kelly. That's right. And what happened after that is, of course, R. Kelly, damage control, let's go ahead and pay them off. Let's go ahead and settle out of court. And that is exactly what he did. Now, did it stop there?
That's when the major bombshell dropped. The sex tape. See, R. Kelly had another protege named Sparkle.
Yeah.
And she had a niece who was trying to get into the music industry. Yeah, she was a rapper or something like that. And so she started coming to the studio with Sparkle. And then all of a sudden she was coming to the studio
By herself.
by herself.
Yeah.
And R. Kelly took a liking to her.
Took advantage of the
And he
situation.
took advantage of the situation and ended up having sex with this young lady. And R. Kelly used to record all of his sex escapades. So basically there was this tape out there with him and this young lady, and it got out to the public. It got to the media.
And I think what stood out most about this actual tape, not only was it horrific enough that it was a 14-year-old girl, but the actual act that he was doing to this 14-year-old girl, where he was literally urinating in her mouth. Now that is beyond despicable. Now, even with the video surfacing, I mean, you would think it's cut and dry, right? I mean, you visually can see R. Kelly. You visually can see this underage girl at the age of 14. So how is it that there was no ground for them to stand on when it came to prosecuting him? Well, the reason was because the family members of the underage girls would not take a stand. And instead of taking a stand, what they did is they went against it and said that it wasn't her, including the minor girl. Now, what Sparkle did say, because this is her niece, she stated that she was not sure that perhaps he did pay them off because they did have relations even beyond. I mean, R. Kelly was still in their lives. I think the brother was a bass player for his band. So they had good relations. They were still in contact, the family and R. Kelly. So it would have been very easy to pay them off. And that's what I actually believed happened in this case.
Unfortunately, money rears its ugly head into the situation, and as you know, when money's involved, people make decisions based on that, and I truly believe that also.
Yeah.
I believe the family was paid off because when you have Sparkle, who said, "I saw the tape, I saw the hairstyle of the girl, it was her."
Yeah.
She said, "I saw him, that was definitely him," and she broke down crying. And once again, money has clouded the situation. And these people have made a decision based on money rather than on moral.
And that's what we believe. Also, keeping in mind that this wasn't the first time that he's trying to pay people off. I mean, he's been doing this. And even with Sparkle, he tried to pay her off.
Right.
Was it 100,000? No, she said high six figures.
Yes.
Trying to pay her off to have a sit down and make things look like everything was A-okay with her and also R. Kelly, in which she refused because she clearly stated she cannot be bought. But not only that, he also tried to pay off his brother, Carrie.
Yes.
But not only that, I mean, it goes on and on and on, folks. This guy is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he actually tried to throw his brother completely under the bus to where he would be the fall guy.
Yes.
Okay? Now, it did state that his attorneys had stated that they believed it was Carrie that was in the actual video and not R. Kelly, which of course Sparkle stated no way, no how. They didn't even look alike. It was R. Kelly. But you know what? Even though the attorneys concocted the plan or stated that it was his brother, R. Kelly did not say a peep. He did not defend his brother and say, well, it wasn't me, but it wasn't my brother either.
Right.
No. He was trying to take the focus off of him
He left it open.
and completely put the blame on his brother. This is family. Okay, that shows you R. Kelly's heart and his loyalty. He has none. Now, also, we have to make sure that it's noted they also had other pornographic material and some other evidence against R. Kelly as well that was sufficient evidence. Only problem is they stated that the police obtained them illegally or without accordance to the law. So therefore, they could not use that evidence in the court of law. So there is evidence that he has done this time and time again, and recordings and tapings, and it is documented.
So essentially, he gets off on a technicality. But R. Kelly doesn't stop there. He has the audacity to search out young girls who come to his trial.
In his trial, he was scoping out young girls.
Can you believe it? And essentially,
The nerve.
he sends one of his handlers out to one that's caught his eye, and once he gets off and he's cleared of all charges,
the day of his release,
he invites this girl, 14 years old, to his house to be a part of what he has going on at his house, and she said that she was 14 and she was a virgin, and he had her come to
he said perfect.
Yes, he said perfect, and he ended up taking her virginity. This is what we're dealing with. It's just sick. It's sickening.
So again, not a day later, not 2 days, not a week, not a month. He didn't even wait that long. It was the very same day he was released. He invited this 14-year-old girl to his location to do exactly, what he normally does. Back to business as normal. So in this case, you see that it's not getting any better, but instead it's progressively getting worse. He's taking advantage of the system. He's taking advantage of the fact that he feels that he is now untouchable. And that is a very dangerous place to be. And so that really brought it to light that, hey, there is a major issue. This man is really, really sick, you know, and he's not going to stop unless he is stopped. But he's not going to do it on his own.
Right.
Because the girls keep coming, they keep surfacing. And the crimes that he's committing against these underage girls and some women are progressively getting worse.
Right. He's gotten to the point to where it basically sounds like kidnapping.
Yeah.
You know, once a
Human
girl,
trafficking.
correct. Once a young lady is in his possession or is at his house, she can't eat without him, without calling him. She can't go to the bathroom without calling him. They're under lock and key. So I mean, what is that to you? I mean, to me, that sounds like slavery.
Holding people against their will. There was one in particular, lady by the name of Dominique. I think she started seeing him when she was 14, I
14,
think.
I believe.
And the mother got involved, got her away, told R. Kelly basically, you know, you stay away from my daughter. But then at the age of 17, she returned to R. Kelly. At that age, in that state, it was consensual age.
Yes.
So she was capable of going to R. Kelly, and she did. And from that time to now, she hadn't seen the daughter. It was not until the documentary where she actually went to Chicago. Was it Chicago?
No, it was California.
Okay. Where she actually went to California and she asked the network if they would help her out to go seek out her daughter, in which they did. And surprisingly, she was able to locate her at a hotel. And surprisingly, eventually, she was able to rescue the daughter, Dominique.
Right.
And when she went up to the hotel room and she seen the daughter, I mean, of course, she did not look the way she did when she left.
Right.
Because her hair was all cut off. This was a girl that they stated R. Kelly was looking at this girl as his boy toy, if you will, if that makes any sense. But he had transformed her to look like a boy.
Right.
The hair was cut short. Wearing hats and baggy jeans and baggy
when she was
clothes,
dressed, yes.
tattoos, just to the point where she was looking very masculine and all her femininity was gone, okay? So the mother finds her looking like this, and you could see in the girl's eyes when she sees the mother, I mean, bewilderment, shock. I mean, it was like a deer in the headlight look.
Yeah.
She didn't know what to do. She literally did not know what to do. You could see it. So again, eventually the mother was able to get her out of the hands of this very tragic lifestyle and did rescue her.
Yes.
So that goes to show you that these women are being held against their will.
Yes, they're being brainwashed.
Yeah, and if they had the help, if they had the outlet where they could be released, they would, okay? But you have to understand, R. Kelly is just not a celebrity. R. Kelly is a master manipulator. R. Kelly is a master professional abuser. Okay? He shows all of the signs. He shows all of the personalities and the traits and what an actual predator would do. I mean, he goes down the line.
Yes.
He takes these young girls or these women and he mentally breaks them down. He makes it to where he is the only important thing in their life. He totally isolates, cut away their family, their friends, their parents, to where they have no contact, to where they have no outlet or nowhere they can reach out for help. Right. He completely brainwashes them. He abuses them mentally, physically, and spiritually. And these women begin, or I'm not just going to say women, because majority, again, remember, are underage girls.
They're children.
where they don't have the capacity or the understanding of how adults can cope with these types of situations. So they're very easily broken down. They're very vulnerable. And these are the reason why R. Kelly targets these minors, because he can easily take hold of them and fully control them, raise them up, teach them exactly what he needs them to become and he needs them to do. Okay? That is the saddest thing. We got to keep in mind that these underage girls, these are somebody's daughters.
Yes.
These are somebody's sisters. Okay? These are loved ones. I know it's easier for us to be outsiders looking in, but put yourself in the parents' situations. How dare he do this to our children? And you know what? I got to tell you, I really have to applaud these organizations and also these groups that have joined together and trying to bring this monster down and cutting off his access to these minors, to these women, and not making it available for him to use his stardom and his celebrity status to swindle, to bamboozle, to completely put them under a spell where he can do these unthinkable things to these people, to these girls. As a matter of fact, one of the girls actually stated that, you know, it broke her heart to find out that they had actually been planning or talking about killing her. So we ask ourselves, how far is he willing to go? What will he do next? Because obviously it is not stopping. It is getting worse. And as a matter of fact, R. Kelly is not only just sexually abusing underage girls, but he has now progressively gotten worse, where he is having a harem of sex slaves, robots, a cult, and also prisoners that are being held in his home and also other locations. And when we say prisoners, we're talking about women that do not have authority to do whatever they want to, but in fact have got to ask for permission from R. Kelly to do the simplest things, from being capable of eating, where they are literally having food being withheld from them as a form of punishment, where they are being verbally abused, where they are being physically beat up, where they are being intimidated and put in fear from being capable of using the bathroom. As a matter of fact, he has buckets in certain rooms where they have to use the bathroom in these buckets. Okay? So again, prisoners, they are not at their own free will, and that within itself, you guys know, is a very dangerous situation to be in with a predator and also someone that is not psychologically there to have that much control over a person and in a discreet, unmonitored location where nobody has access to these women. It's very scary, folks, you know. And one of the things that I do want to talk to you guys about is the fact that you have to understand, when you buy into his product, his music, when you show your support by going to his concerts and supporting his events and anything that he's doing, you're not just buying into his music. You're not simply just getting entertainment, but what you literally are doing is providing a platform, allowing him to have the capability of being a celebrity and literally having access to people, to having prisoners, to having these cults. And, you know, again, as I stated, he will not stop unless he is stopped. And believe it or not, you have the power to do just that. And I did want to reiterate the fact that these women were so harshly treated to the point they were mentally, physically, and also spiritually abused. Many of the women have attempted or had thoughts of committing suicide, One in particular that stood out on the documentary, Andrea, which was R. Kelly's wife, had contemplated committing suicide. She stated that she stood over the ledge, and this was literally the first time in her life that she thought about being separated from her babies. Also, let it be noted that there were many of these girls that also got pregnant by R. Kelly and had actually had abortions. There were many of these women and underage girls that had contracted STDs, and one in particular, which was Martinez, where she actually almost lost her life because of it. As I stated, R. Kelly has severely damaged these women, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I want to applaud the organizations and groups that have gathered together to put a stop to the tomfoolery, the craziness, the absolute absurdness. And these groups are Mute R. Kelly.
Yes.
Also the MeToo movement. Because they've kept the conversation going.
Yes. They've kept the spotlight on him.
They've
Yes.
literally kept the spotlight on R. Kelly. They have not let up on the pressure, and as a matter of fact, they put the pressures in the right locations at these venues and these radio stations, which have stopped playing his music and have also stopped holding his concerts. Indeed, concerts have been canceled because of these movements and these groups. So if you guys want to do something about it, you have to take a stand against it.
Yes.
You cannot be a part of the solution if you are a part of the problem. And again, these are real live human beings. These are people's children here. And this is going to leave a lasting effect, not only on these women and on these underage children, because we have to understand that this is something that they are going to take with them forever.
For the rest of their lives. Yes.
They are psychologically damaged. They are going to have major difficulties in having any type of healthy relationships. They're going to have trust issues. They are going to be at a point where they are going to have reoccurring nightmares of this monster that we call R. Kelly. Okay, so we've got to put a stop to it, and it starts now. Stop being so oblivious to the fact of, if you support this poor excuse of a man, that you are also enabling him as well. You might as well go ahead and join his army, his network, his conglomerate of people that allow it to happen, because that is exactly what you will be doing. As for me, and as for my husband, we refuse.
Yes.
We will not listen to his music. We will not buy his music, and we definitely will not be attending any concert or any event of his. No. And that is our vow. And I hope you guys take responsibility as well, and not just throw it aside and think that this does not have a devastating effect. Because not only has he already done damage to these girls and the families that have been destroyed, but he has left a lasting effect on society.
Yes.
As a whole, in the fact that we have accepted this for far too long. So the time is now, take that stand now. And there you have it, folks. That is our review and also our reaction to the docu-series Surviving R. Kelly, which of course was aired on Lifetime. Now, if you guys have not yet seen the series, I would recommend that you go ahead and check it out. It's very informative, very educational, and also it is guaranteed that you will learn something new. I guarantee it, folks. Also, if you know of anyone that may be in need of some help, please be sure to check my descriptions below. I will post some links there that you can definitely get some assistance and some advice. Also, if you guys have not yet subscribed, please be sure to go ahead and do so now and click that bell button so that you will know exactly when we post a new video. And with that being said, I am Maria Young.
And I'm Jody Young.
And together we are The Young Life. And be sure to join us for more adventures on The Young Life. Thanks for joining us. Please be sure to subscribe. Bye-bye.